Why are abusive people so cruel when they're discarding you? Why are they so damn evil at the end? Why can't they just be normal, nice, amicable people and break up like a normal, nice, amicable person would, right? That's what we're talking about today, y'all. Of course, if you're new here, I'm Lee Hammock. I'm a clinically diagnosed narcissist, here to give you the inside look at the mind of a narcissist. And yo, we're gonna hop right into it. Seriously, cruelty at the end during the discard phase is one of the telltale signs of getting out of or escaping an abusive relationship, especially if they are the ones that are discarding you. If they are the ones that are the perpetrators of this breakup, you're going to get the brunt end. You're going to get the crap end of the stick. This just happens right here, y'all, because y'all know the patterns. You know the cycle of narcissistic abuse. If you do not know, I have a course called Understanding the 7 Stages of a Narcissistic Relationship that you can check out, linked in the description, right? The cycle of abuse goes love bombing, devaluation, discard, and Hoover. Hoover, everybody doesn't get Hoover, right? But you know that type of stuff happens. So once they love bombing ends, they go to devalue you. Once the devaluation stage ends, they discard you. Emotionally discard first, and then sometimes they'll physically get rid of you. And then the hoovering phase, when they sometimes come back. Now, all narcissists come back. I know people say, they come back. No, they do not always all come back. That's just not true, right? But you know that type of stuff right there. But at the end, the discard phase can be a vicious, cruel thing. Why do they have to be so damn cruel at the end? One thing right here is that, especially at the end, regardless of who breaks up with who, they feel it's an ego hit, right? They feel like, especially if you break up with me, divided into 2 sections. If you break up with me, if you end it with me, and I know that I can't get you back, I have to heal my ego. I have to try to put band-aids on my ego. You just caused a narcissistic injury. I have to fix said injury. I have to stitch up my ego. I have to do all of this stuff right here because now I feel like I'm damn broken. You done shattered my ego to pieces and I have to pick it back up. I have to put it back together. And I cannot do that without raging out, without losing my damn mind, without trying to make you feel like crap, without trying to make it feel like you are the abuser, without trying to make it feel like you are the manipulator, you are the controller one, and things like that. So that's what ends up happening. I have to repair my ego. And a lot of times the repairing of the ego is going to result in me being toxic as hell and evil at the end, right? It absolutely is. And also, because I not only is it a narcissistic injury, also I'm losing control. I don't want the next person or whoever comes after me to have control over what I once thought was mine. What once belonged to me, I don't want you to have control over. You know what I mean? I don't want you to have control over that. So when I lose control, I don't want anybody else to have it. I have to make sure that you are broken or destroyed or whatever the case may be, because that's going to help my ego. It's all ego, y'all. It's all ego related, isn't it? That's going to help my ego, knowing that you are broken, knowing that you are hurt or something is going on here, right? That's a big part of it. That's going to be something that everybody has to deal with in these scenarios or these situations. You're going to feel it. You absolutely are. And that's one of the main things that you're going to battle against, that you're going to experience when you're dealing with a narcissistic abuser. But also the second part of that, I told you I was going to do two separate parts, slipped my mind. The second part of that, if I am the one that is discarding you, I need to make sure that I'm making the right decision, right? I need to make sure that I look at you as broken. I look at you as unhealed. I look at you as pathetic. I look at you as a downgrade or a piece of crap. I need to make you look. That's why I'm trying to break you at the end. I'm trying to get you to react. I'm trying to get you to cry. I'm trying to get you to beg because I need to look at you in a different light. I need to make sure to myself and to validate myself that I'm making the right decision here. So I need to make sure in my mind that you are broken. You see what I'm saying? I know that sounds cruel and unusual, but that type of stuff happens right there. And it's not always going to be yelling and screaming at you, right? Some of the tactics can vary with them trying to be cruel at the end. It's not always going to be directed toward you to your face. Sometimes they can start doing things to you through other people, right? They can absolutely start a smear campaign and start spreading rumors about you. They can start telling people lies about what actually happened in the relationship. That's also going to affect you, right? Because sometimes people are going to believe them without even, they're not even going to come to you. They're just going to believe your abuser, and that's going to piss you off because they didn't even question you. They didn't even come to you directly or ask you your side of the story. They just believe the abuser. They just believe the manipulator, right? They just believe the liar, the cheater. So sometimes they can absolutely do a smear campaign. And sometimes they can just threaten you straight up. They can threaten you through other people. They can threaten to expose you. They can blackmail you. There's so many ways that they can be cruel at the end, right? There's so many ways they can be cruel at the end. They can actually start to, one of the main ways they can be cruel is, y'all, they can actually bring the new supply into play, right? If they have a new supply that they are leaving you for, they're going to devalue you by and discard you and be cruel to you by comparing you to this new supply. They're going to compare you to this new person. Did my new boo treats me so much better than you? They're so much better than you. You just are nothing to them. They treat me, they're kind, they're caring, they're submissive, they got money, they look better than you. You're pathetic. Look at you right now. Look how pathetic you are. You think I want to be with you when I have them lined up? They're everything I've ever looked for in a partner. They're going to try to make you feel like crap by comparing you to the new supply, if there is one. And sometimes, y'all, let's be real. Sometimes they don't even have a new supply and they are lying to make you feel bad. They'll compare you to somebody that doesn't even exist, right? And just, I'm going to be real, your child as well. Sometimes when they're comparing you to the new supply or sometimes their ex, they're lying. They be lying, y'all. If their goal is to hurt you, of course they're going to lie sometimes. You know what I mean? If their goal is to inflict maximum emotional damage to you, of course they're going to lie sometimes directly to you about what they're doing, about who they're with, about where they're going next. They're going to lie their asses off. There's no truth that is going to come from their lips. They're going to be lying through their teeth about the new supply and how they're treating them better and how that person is. Y'all know, I watched a video very recently where this man was brutally discarding his wife for his new supply, right? I did a video on my reaction channel. If you go to my reaction channel, it's called Lee.actions. I did a reaction to this video. This man brutally discarded his wife, told her she was fat, said she was ugly. His new girlfriend that he worked with was way better than her, and they were talking about having kids and stuff like that. He was cruel as hell. But guess what ended up happening? She reached out to the new supply, and the new supply didn't even realize that she was a new supply. She's no, we worked together, and I was nice to this man, and he misinterpreted my niceness as me wanting to be in a relationship with him. So the new supply didn't even know that she was the new supply. So this man that ruined his family, broke up his family for somebody that didn't even like him, that didn't even know that he existed. She knew that he existed, but she didn't know this story, this fabrication that he was telling his wife to hurt her feelings at the end, to make her feel like crap. He was trying his hardest to make his wife feel like crap, so he just kept lying and making things up. He absolutely did. And how evil, desperate, and desolate is that? He's just an evil, evil man. He was. Like I said, he was making up lies. It's a real life story I just reacted to. I thought about that way. This just happened. This literally just happened. Sometimes they lie about the new supply. They just are comparing you to a new person to try to hurt your feelings. And was it working with that young lady? Yeah, it was working until she reached out and found out that the dude was lying and delusional as hell, right? Told himself this story. He made a fan fiction in his head about a new relationship. So sometimes they're cruel at the end, and they are lying, y'all. They are lying to you. Because this cruelness at the end of the relationship is, let's be real, and I know this might not make sense to you, but just bear with me right here. The cruelness at the end, a lot of times, is not even about you. It's not even about you. The cruelness at the end of the relationship that a narcissist or an abuser is doing is a lot of times just about them and their egos, right? It's not even about you. You could not be here. It could be somebody else in your position, and they would probably be saying the exact same thing to this other person. The people that they are being cruel to are interchangeable. because it's not about the person. It's about their own ego, satisfying their own ego, fixing or repairing their own ego. It's not even about the person that they are with or the person that they are leaving or the person that they're going to be with. It's about ego management, ego healing, narcissistic supply and validation. It's not about you. It really isn't. Lee, it sounds like it's about me. They use my name. Of course they're going to use your name because you're right here in front of them, right? You're right here in front of them. I tell people to try not to take it personally, but I understand how difficult that is when they're yelling and screaming and saying horrible, evil, vitriolic stuff to you. I understand that right there. So it's easier said than done to try not to take it personal, but from the mind and the mouth of a diagnosed narcissist. Believe me when I say this, it feels like you, but it really is me. It's kind of like vomit. It's like, it really is like, even though I throw up on you, it's still my vomit. It could have been anybody standing there in front of me to get thrown up on, right? But inside out, what's going on inside comes out. It's not even about you. You didn't make me sick. I'm already sick. I ate something bad, right? I'm already sick. You didn't make me sick. I'm going to blame the sickness on you. You made me throw up. Even though I know that egg I dropped, like in Osmosis Jones, had some diseases on it. I knew it wasn't good for me. I ate it anyway. And now I'm throwing them in sick. That's the mentality right there, y'all. So it's not even about you. It's verbal vomit. They're vomiting on you. It could be anybody right there in that position. So healing is going to take time, y'all. It really is. Even though they're being evil, even though they're being cruel, this is just more of a further example of who they really are. Right? So if they do try to come back, if they do try to hoover, you know who they really are. And in their minds, if you take them back after they've been evil and vitriolic to you, they can just do it again and again and again. The cycle will continue, y'all. Anyways, y'all, I'm keeping this one short and sweet. My battery's about to go to dead on my camera. I'm looking at it right here. Hit that subscribe button. Check out my website for my coaching calls, my one-on-ones, my Zooms, everything, y'all. mentalhealness.net everywhere. Subscribe to the channel, and I'm out. Peace. Peace.